Welcome back to Pathfinders, a hiking podcast with Brian. I'm your host, Brian Hudson, and today we're tackling the best hiking gloves for arthritis and hand support. Joining me is my friend and colleague, Susan Wilson. We have heard from hikers who face joint pain, swelling, and cold sensitivity that make hiking sometimes difficult. Our aim today is practical: cut through specs and find gloves that reduce stress, keep grip, and still let you work zippers, phones, and snacks. We'll cover features, materials, layering, and a simple trail test you can try this week. To start, Susan, could you tell us why gloves matter for sensitive hands?
Sure, Brian, and thank you. Because wearing the wrong pair of gloves makes you fight your gear all day. With arthritic hands, 3 stressors add up: joint load from gripping, vibration from pulls or scrambling, and cold that stiffens tissue. A good glove spreads pressure across the palm so the base of the thumb and finger joints don't take every hit. Light, even compression limits swelling and preserves motion for descents. Inside, low seam or seamless construction prevents rubbing on nodules. Pre-curved fingers reduce the muscle effort to close your hand. And of course, it adds traction. Silicone or leather on the palm and finger pads help your grip so you don't over-squeeze just to feel safe. Finally, a snug cuff with an easy, adjustable closure supports the wrist without choking circulation or fighting pull straps or bunching under jackets.
That pressure spreading point is huge, Susan. When the glove grips for you, your thumb can finally relax. Let's talk materials by conditions, because fabric choice controls warmth, feel, and breathability. For cool, dry days, merino or fleece liners are great. If the wind kicks up a little, a soft shell with a brushed interior keeps joints warm without swampy palms. In wet and cold weather, windproof or water-resistant shells with leather reinforcements maintain traction on poles and rocks. In constant spray or crossings, neoprene insulates when wet, though it breathes poorly. On exposed hot days, UPF sun gloves with mild compression and textured palms protect your skin and still grip well. Anything you'd add, Susan, before we get into compression and seam details and closures?
Well, Brian, you want to consider light to moderate compression, supportive but never tingly or numb. If you're wrestling the liner on, it's too tight. Prioritize low seam interiors, especially across fingertips and the web space between the thumb and index finger. Bulky stitching there becomes a pressure point under straps. Pre-curved fingers and a shaped thumb gusset keep your hand near a natural gripping posture, reducing effort for each plant. For closures, a soft knit cuff plus a small adjustable tab lets you fine-tune stability without clashing with pull straps. In the palm, thin silicone mapping or leather patches on the heel and finger pads add traction without bulk. Always test with your actual pulls. Load the strap, twist as if breaking, and make sure no seam bites back.
That strap twist check saves so many miles of regret. I've learned that if a glove forces me to oversqueeze to feel secure, it's the wrong glove, not my hand. Let's tie this to layering, because that's where hikers unlock both support and climate control. I like a mild compression liner as the baseline, then a windproof or water-resistant shell I can vent on climbs. The moment sweat pools, joints chill later and can feel achy on descents. Where do you land on layering, and how do you coach people through the dexterity versus warmth trade-off? Classic 5-finger gloves, heat-saving mittens, or the hybrid lobster split designs that give the index finger freedom for zippers, cameras, and phone taps without sacrificing too much insulation? And finally, do heated liners or chemical warmers have a purpose here for hikers?
I like to start with a liner that fits perfectly on its own. No bunching at knuckles, no pressure on nodules. Over that, add a windproof or water-resistant shell with a supple face so you still sense pull feedback. The win is adjustability. Vent cuffs on climbs, reseal for ridge lines, and you never shock the joints by exposing skin. For warmth hierarchy, mittens win heat, gloves win dexterity, and lobster designs split the difference while preserving an index finger for buckles and screens. Heated liners or chemical warmers can help when the temperature is below freezing, but use low settings and minimal bulk. Widening the grip makes you over-recruit the muscles. Place warmers over the wrist pulse point, not in the palm, to avoid pressure. If it's wet, consider neoprene shells. Pair with a wicking liner to reduce the clamminess.
I love the pulse point warmer trick. It keeps pressure off the working surfaces. On stability, I like snug knit cuffs with a small tab, enough to steady sudden pole plants without pinching. I also loosen straps a notch so the palm and patches carry the load instead of the strap edge sawing at the thumb base. And for anyone tempted by rigid wrist splints, check with a clinician first. The wrong brace can shift forces into irritated joints and collide with straps. Let's talk about usability now, because nothing derails a hike like peeling gloves constantly. What should folks look for in touchscreen tips, glove leashes or carabiner clips, and easy-on pull tabs so stiff fingers aren't wrestling with fabric at every photo stop or quick map checks?
Touchscreen tips help you keep gloves on, which reduces swelling from repeated removal. Make sure the conductive patch actually reaches the pad of your index and thumb. Some sit too high and force awkward angles. Leashes are great for quick photos. Choose soft, low-profile anchors that won't press your wrist during pole plants. Carabiner clips between cuffs keep gloves paired at rest stops. Hang them exterior side out so liners stay dry. For donning, broad pull tabs on the cuff and middle finger let you ease gloves on and off without yanking seams or twisting fingers. In wet areas, if you use neoprene, pair it with a wicking liner so you can peel the shell to cool without baring the skin to wind.
Those usability tweaks are small but really important. On costs, here's how I like to look at it. Premium buys you anatomical patterning, smarter palm mapping, higher grade leather that grips without bulk, and seam placement that dodges hot spots. Durable DWR that actually beads is another plus. A good strategy for saving money is to pair an affordable compression liner with a mid-price softshell or shell. That combo often beats one pricey glove. I've mixed budget liners with black diamond or outdoor research shells and upgraded only high-wear palms to leather, with great results consistently.
Matching insulation to your sensitivity and not just the weather forecast is important. If wind at 4 degrees Fahrenheit stiffens you, step up a warmth level early. Pack a dry backup liner in a zip bag. Swapping at lunch restores compression and hygiene. To maintain your equipment's performance, make sure you wash liners, air dry all pieces, and reproof shells with DWR when water stops beating. Clean first, then treat. Leather needs gentle conditioner after drying, never soaking it. Break it in on short walks. Store gloves flat to protect foam and seams. Treated right, liner shell systems last seasons and support joints more consistently too.
Fit might be the biggest pain saver. I tell hikers to try gloves late in the afternoon, bring poles, and mimic real use. Plant, load, twist like breaking downhill. Make sure to check 3 zones: the thumb base, the web space, and fingertip clearance. Fingers should flex without the fabric tugging knuckles sideways. Compression should feel like a light hug, never pins and needles. When deciding between sizes, I'll size the shell up and keep the liner true to size. Is there anything you would like to add, Susan?
Try gloves late in the day when mild swelling is realistic. Barehanded, make a loose fist and mimic a pole grip, note tender spots. In liners, repeat. Fingers should flex without fabric pulling knuckles sideways. With shells, confirm 3 things: no pressure at the thumb base, no seam biting the web space, and pee-width fingertip room. Do a 2-minute load and twist drill with your poles. Early hotspots become hour 2 misery. Between sizes, size the shell up and keep the liner true.
I love that driveway drill, Susan. Fail fast before the day. For shopping targets, start with compression liners from Incrediwear and Thermajon Terrace, grippy soft shells like Black Diamond Heavyweight Screen Tap or OR Storm Series, leather-reinforced options from Hestra Heli or Gordini Patrol, UPF sun gloves with texture such as OR Active Ice and Sims Solarflex, and hybrid lobster picks like OR Split Mitt or Black Diamond Soloist Finger. Thank you, Susan, for being with us today. It's been a lot of fun. Here's one quick trail test for our listeners today. Pair a mild compression liner with a windproof glove that has silicone or leather palms. Loosen pole straps so they don't pinch the thumb base. Hike 20 minutes. Every 5 minutes, rate pain, stiffness, 0 to 10, and note hot spots. Use that log to refine fit. Okay, folks, that's our show today. Practical glove choices to reduce stress, keep grip, and stay warm without sacrificing dexterity. Thanks for listening to Pathfinders, and please share with your hiking friends. Finally, hike smart, and we'll see you next week.